Because at this age, parents are passing away. So on one hand, you're very thankful that he's still alive. And they're trying to figure out what's the right way to do it. Do you move with another parent? Do you move where family is?
We've been in and out of a lot of senior centers, so they may be there for 5 years and no one has come to visit them.
25 minutes away, 30 minutes away, which frankly made it really challenging for Carolyn and I to go there.
So I started working early, whether cutting lawns or delivering newspapers or being a copy boy, because we needed the money.
It is sometimes easier to care for parents when they have loved you and they have sacrificed for you. But what does it also look like when it's hard?
I'm Carlos Watson. We're back with another edition of the Watsons.
Stronger Together.
Today, I'm hoping you guys will be able to be candid because we're going to talk about something I know that is a difficult topic for all of us, which is taking care of our older parents, and in our particular case, taking care of our very talented but our very difficult dad. You guys feel like you're open to that conversation?
Let's see.
All right, Bev, you're definitely holding back. Yeah! All right, let's see who's willing to go where, and then we'll go from there. We had a very interesting experience growing up because in many ways we had two wonderful parents, both smart, both bright, both optimistic people, very, very global people.
Educated people.
People with big hearts who cared about the community and cared about education and cared about serving others.
They cared about family too, right? They each cared about family in a very central way, but also an extended family way as well.
But growing up, Mom was a breath of fresh air.
Always.
She was creative, hardworking, easy to be around.
Fun, funny,
loving.
Loving,
embracive, very embracing.
And lots of people loved her as well.
Yeah.
She was everybody's mommy.
Right.
Everybody's mommy, everybody's favorite aunt.
Very optimistic.
Dad was very charismatic.
Very much so.
Was a
Big
teacher.
Big voice, loved to laugh.
Loved to laugh, loved politics, loved newspapers.
Yep.
Enjoyed sports. As you said, was very community-minded, volunteered on lots of campaigns, volunteered for organizations like the NAACP, the Urban League, and others.
And so we ended up doing that as well.
Dad didn't have the success that he wanted to professionally.
Right.
He was in and out of different jobs over the years. I think it was a tough combination of, I think he generally encountered a very racist environment at the time for a professional black man, and particularly someone who had strong views of fairness and right and wrong, and wasn't the kind of person to go along to get along, but was the kind of person, if he saw someone else in trouble, to say that person's not getting treated fairly. And so all of that made stuff tough. There were times we were on food stamps. There were times the lights got cut off. There were times that, a lot of times we went to Goodwill. We knew what it was to buy something on credit or to charge
go to
something.
the flea market, right? We got a lot of stuff from the flea market.
Or go to the flea market.
Joanne.
But people would see us and they would hear us speak, and they'd see these clean, bright-eyed kids and college-educated parents, and they wouldn't assume that those folks would be having the kind of financial distress, real distress that we had. I mean, I was fairly young as I was trying to help figure out how to pay phone bills and light bills and the rest. So I started working early, whether cutting lawns or delivering newspapers or working at supermarkets or being a copy boy, not just because I wanted to be industrious, because we needed the money. Right. But I did want to talk today about the challenge in raising and taking care of elderly parents, and that it's not just financial, and it's not just time,
Emotional.
and it's not just emotion, but I think that one of the hidden things that people don't talk about as much is that often that parent was a little difficult to deal with. And I think that just like it's different raising kids who are difficult versus kids who are easier to roll with, I think taking care of parents who, by the way, are adults and have spent a lot of their life as adults who are difficult, I think that is a first-class challenge for many.
He's difficult to be with. He has a very strong personality. He is, wants what he wants, when he wants, how he wants, and he can be it can feel overpowering, right?
And overwhelming.
And you add dementia on top of that, or you add any kind
of cognitive impairment.
Right, on top of that, that just makes it a really, really hard thing. And so actually, to be fair...
Meaning just for people who don't know, he could think that someone took his mail when in fact he just lost it.
Right.
Or he could think that his brother was alive last year when in fact his brother died 15 years ago, and you've shown him the eulogy.
Right.
Or you've shown him the obituary. Right.
And he's used to using that super intelligence to make his way. And so, I mean, one of the things that was really challenging is he kept on using his credit cards and getting scammed. And he would continue to put his credit card information out there. And there's a lot of scammers that target elderly people. And so trying to keep him safe. But
called me to say, hey, do you know that you could get this? And I said, Dad, they're trying to, that's not real.
Yeah. You know, there are, I mean, the other piece of it is, you know, we're not the only ones. There are, you know, organizations that help caregivers and family deal with people who have cognitive. And part of what they say is don't always try to show them that they're wrong, which frankly I was doing incorrectly. You almost entertain them. You don't have to, you know, continue to say, no, that person didn't die. Oh, ask questions. You do it with jokes, skills, and techniques. And because again, they say, like, why prove that they're wrong? That just makes them mad.
And I think there's something even a little different. Maybe you'll tell me it's the same thing, but I think it's not just taking you back, but I think there can be a lot of scar tissue, meaning that this person could have done the same thing over and over and over again, right? This person could have misspent, or this person could cause you and everyone else to be late and this may not be the 4th, 5th, or 10th time. It may be the
perpetual.
It may be that, and so that you don't have to reach back for some one singular distinct memory. There literally could be hundreds of examples of this, and so it could be really significant.
That's one. Two, though, I think oftentimes is that you have dad who may want to please somebody. So like you said, like he wants to be, you know, looked at as affable, or looked at as, you know, especially if you're like saying, oh, prof, because you call him prof. Oh, gosh, I really love the way you do that. Oh, man, I love that you're so...
Because he was a teacher for many years. Many people used to love to call him professor or prof. And he came to enjoy that. And he comes out of a nickname culture. And so he loves nicknames, be it for him or for someone else. And
but to be clear, there are a lot of people who love visiting Dad.
Even though Dad is 91.
To be 92 this year.
But he's 91. Yep. My view has been that he's got another 15 years in him, right? That I think he's just a country boy who's got country stock.
He does.
And that kid's not going anywhere, and he's going to get into triple digits, and he's going to be at Carlito's high school graduation, and he's going to be excited about taking him to college. That makes me think 15 years is a long time. That's a lot of good, valuable life.
It is.
And it makes me think that we should try and change some of his behaviors. And I feel like you guys, for whatever reason, are not willing to.
Well, it depends when you're
engage that.
I'm not sure which ones you're talking about, because I think you're talking about some of the hoarding things, which hoarding is actually a mental disorder, and you treat it as a preference, a decision, a choice, and that, well, it's no big deal. Just tell him not to do it so he won't do it, or just.
But that's too simple, right?
Yeah,
it's
but that's
simple,
kind of,
but not. But so there's when she's trying to make a point, and the point is, it is a mental illness, and so you have to deal with it. But
I feel like you guys draw a bright line, and therefore you don't engage in any creative problem solving.
No, it's not. So part of the challenge is he is a person, an adult that has made his choices and will make his choices. Now, not to change what we were talking about, but to think about, for me, I think about how can Dad live his best life for these 15 years? What can we do to make sure he gets exercise, he's mentally challenged and stimulated, he has friends, he's doing things that he's excited about?
Does that say to you when you take into account how busy you guys are and everything else you have, that you should try and do some meaningful behavioral reset? Or does it say, you know what, even if that's conceptually possible, don't use up the time on that. Try to find a situation that works with what we have today and that gets him to the best possible place with what he currently has.
His example, he has almost a century worth of experience and of routine and of pattern behavior that he's learned and he's done over and over again. So you also have like the neurological things in your brain that, you know, gets used to doing something in the same way. I don't think it's and so when you bring in the cognitive decline, I don't think it's as simple as, hey, let's try to change up our routine a little bit. I think because actually people get, as you grow older, you know, studies show, and you can actually see, people get stuck in routines. People need routines, actually, just like children. You need routines in order to feel safe, in order to be able to.
But could you and should you build some new routines for him? I don't disagree with that.
It depends on what kinds of routines you're talking about. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Yeah, be more specific.
So, our dad for decades has struggled to sleep, to the fact that he was up late, which to some extent I thought was cool as a kid because I like being up late, but I now realize how challenging that was to be up late. And so I think that there could be a benefit in a structured program to ensure that he sleeps and that he sleeps well. I think that he's
and that actually there's
a
technology
routine.
With that, right? Even the PAP, he has
CPAP machine.
CPAP machine. So there are things that can be done, and if you had someone watching over him and making sure he puts that on.
What do you envision being true for him? So
what I envision. So he just got, at the beginning of this year, moved to the facility close to our house. Before he was at a facility that was like 25 minutes away, 30 minutes away, which frankly made it really challenging for Carolyn and I to go there. What I envision is him creating a community, both where he is and if having other people close by, him being able to come in a way that is cared for, and in a way that we can see him, even if it's briefly, and that he can come in and out. I think he wants to travel. I think it'll be a little challenging. He always would have liked it, and so he has a vision of going to Panama. I would love to be able to take him to Panama, where his father used to live, going back to Jamaica. Honestly, I think that might be a little challenging as, you know, his physical capabilities. But as one woman said to me, if not now, then when?
Maybe moving beyond care for a moment, do you guys have fun times together, like you and him?
I think we've had some. He really loves Carlito, and that
Sweet.
yeah, it's very sweet. He's always just like
Stands up straighter. Walks better.
Right, and actually will put Carlito on his walker, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, start
Yeah.
walking. They're walking together, so they did that at church. Yes.
I mean, I love Sundays because we will both take Dad to church.
Mm-hmm.
We go to church, and Dad will have that outside activity and listen. And then usually we come back.
And the ladies at the front are very nice to
They
him.
are
very
Always
nice.
super kind.
Yes,
Yeah.
and always people are excited to see him. Oh, you're good. When he's gone, they miss him. They ask
Right,
about him.
right.
And then we come back and we have lunch here, and then everyone falls asleep. Dad falls asleep on his chair. Malachi can fall asleep on the couch.
Carlito falls asleep on the
Yeah,
couch.
Carlita falls asleep on the couch. So it is Sundays is a fun time. There's some times when he gets sort of stuck into remembering and maybe some negative self-talk. That's not really fun. But absolutely, I can say that we have some really nice times, and sometimes it surprises. Like, I'm like, oh wow, I didn't expect that, but thank you, God, for giving me. Which honestly is very different than our mom, who you always had a fun time. You know, towards the end, She always, and I think many adults are this, thought of us as extensions of herself.
Right.
And
do that.
And she
Mom!
would say, the way that, she goes, I open the window, open the blinds, then open the windows, then I eat with a fork. And I said, Rosie T, I understand if you were doing it, you have a way to do it, but it's not you, I'm doing it. So please let me do it my way.
And she'll say, okay. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, you do it the way you want to do it.
So
Okay.
that's what I loved. I love that you might disagree, but she heard you and you can talk through it and you like move through the
move on.
process. That's not always the way that our sweet dad is, sweet pie. But he can be very funny. He can make you laugh. He says the most outlandish things sometimes. It's just very funny. Like he has a way of just.
When we were kids, we used to laugh. He had very strong opinions.
You
on
have a
things.
mouth like a duck's behind.
That's a good
I
one.
know.
That's a good one.
You're talking too much.
Watson's Stronger Together is proudly brought to you by the Black Business School, because some of life's most valuable lessons happens through conversation. Founded by Dr. Boyce Watkins, the Black Business School offers practical courses in stock investing, real estate, entrepreneurship, credit, and wealth building. Join more than 300,000 students and members who are taking control of their financial future. Go to theblackbusinessschool.com/Watsons today and get 35% off their prime course. That's theblackbusinessschool.com/Watsons. The Black Business School and the Watsons Stronger Together, empowering families, building wealth, and creating stronger futures together. If your doctor has told you to pay attention to cholesterol, listen up. More and more people are looking for gentler ways to support their cholesterol health, and that's where Dose for Cholesterol comes in. Dose for Cholesterol is a clinically backed cholesterol support system that supports triglycerides, LDL, HDL, and total cholesterol. It's just a daily shot that tastes like mango, no capsules, and no powders. It uses ingredients like turmeric, CoQ10, amla, and other plant and mineral forward ingredients. And I only like talking about products on this show that people around me actually use and are excited about. They deliver it right to your door, making it easy to build healthy habits and stick with your routine. They also, by the way, have a lot of great products over there. New customers can save 35% on their first month subscription by going to dosedaily.co/Carlos or entering Carlos at checkout. That's dosedaily.co/Carlos for 35% off your first month subscription. What about your friends? What this is our experience, but you probably have lots of friends who are having to navigate taking care of parents. What are you hearing, seeing with them?
I feel like I have a lot of friends and they're trying to figure out what's the right way to do it, right? And then sometimes it's like, do you move with another parent? Do you move where family is? And so
that is so humbling, because we obviously have been in and out of a lot of senior centers, in part because they're short-term rehab or what have you, and often, as you know, no one comes to visit them at all. So they may be there for a month, for 6 months, 9 months, 5 years, and no one has come to visit them, or maybe people visit them once a year, and so that's kind of a tough thing. Two of the things that I thought were positive game changers in terms of taking care of Dad. I think something called adult daycare, which I didn't know existed. And so if people don't know about that is brilliant. The idea that 2 to 3 times a week they can essentially,
that was
almost
a game
like
changer.
children, go to a 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. program where they're hearing people read, where they're playing games, where they're talking about. I think that's
current events.
Yeah,
where they're taking a language class that Dad loved and everything. Spanish, and he's just like, I'm getting ready for Panama, getting ready for my trip. And so, I mean, that actually, game changer for
and then the caregiver assistants, which were disproportionately young women, almost all young women. But I found that the right people were fantastic, and were fantastic supplements. And then the third thing that I thought was great, obviously, was church. I think that lots of positive things. But the fourth piece was physical therapy. I thought that where there was a good physical therapist
Yes.
who was engaged in strengthening
Yes.
and who really was committed to not just helping that person subsist, but actually try to get stronger.
Right.
That
good
was
and
great.
walking him, because Dad actually can walk a long way. Like, I was actually surprised. I was like, oh my gosh, look at you. Because when we were
When
gone,
motivated, right? Because I think
Right.
he's motivated when Carlito wants to walk.
Right.
You can get him even at 91 doing a
Right.
full 4-corner block, right?
Right.
Which
Right.
is not a small thing,
Right.
right? People are saying that AI could end up being a big help. That actual robots for many seniors could end up becoming a wonder drug of sorts. That
Interesting.
the idea there's someone who's there who's going to make sure that has your food, that's going to change you, that's going to give you massages. that
Well, you
is-
can see that because if
Yeah.
AI, if you have like a robot and something that's big enough and strong enough to be
Yeah.
able to lift up,
Yeah.
right? Because Daddy's not a small guy either, right? So if you had like a robot who's like, okay, ready, 1, 2, 3, and then Daddy can also hold on to get up. Like, I could see that making.
I
a
could see
big
that being a
difference.
game changer.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, and I actually didn't incorporate that in my 10-year vision for Dad.
I didn't either, nor now that you're talking about it, AI, having an AI assistant, as we've talked about before, having someone to help Dad write his autobiography.
On it.
Well, I will say this. I have a vision because I think not only is it caring for your elderly parents, but I think about what does my retirement look like, right? And one of my visions is how do you create community? Because all of these rehab centers, facilities that I see,
Are not-
I wouldn't want to live there.
At all.
And so I think about, well, where would I want to live? I would want to live close to friends, people that I love and that I know. And I know that like in Sweden or Norway, they have some places where they have 3 generations in one in these apartment buildings where the elderly...
You want to know one of the coolest ideas I've ever heard?
What's that?
In Zimbabwe, they have something called the loneliness benches. And so if you're an older person, you're feeling lonely, you can sit on the bench and people know that they're to come and sit next to you.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Which I think is powerful,
Wonderful.
not only for seniors, but I think lots of us feel
Of
lonely.
Yeah,
course,
At
of
different
course.
times, and what an opportunity to engage. And then in parts of Italy, they have these things where they have seniors come and act as teachers' aides in classes,
Well,
and help teach the young ones to read, and knowing that everyone gets a benefit. That schools that are short of good teachers get a little bit of extra help, and seniors who otherwise might not be challenged and might
Right.
not have an opportunity to contribute now are getting a chance to do that. And so I actually like ideas like that.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's quite powerful. So what do you guys? I mean, we all have friends from a variety of different cultures. What have you heard about people in other cultures in terms of how they deal with it?
I know in Africa, a lot of times you intergenerationally
You live with them.
You live together,
Yeah.
and so older people are respected, and so actually even in African American culture,
Right.
most older family members live with others.
Well, at least before, you know, it's so interesting because that's how we did it.
I feel like
when-
everything's changed.
Yeah, everything is
Yeah.
changing because
Yeah.
growing up, like grandma lived with different family members, and that's how we did it.
I can imagine. So we have some land in Virginia, and part of, again, you dream. And my dream is how can we build a different type of senior community where you have individual living, but like you're connected and you can eat together, cook together.
You know what's so interesting? It doesn't even enter my thought about retirement and that kind of stuff like that. I have no interest in thinking about that and conceiving about
But
that.
so what do you say? You just say you just want to live by yourself all the time.
No, I'm saying that I'm going to live to 150. I have a long time to go before that is.
Yes.
And another one of my friends says, I'm not getting older, I'm getting bolder.
Woo!
And I
Love
like
it.
that. And
Love
so
it.
I just think it's also a mindset.
At what age did we notice our parents were getting older, and how did we feel? I think I have a couple incidences, but one of the things is that Mom was always a good walker, but you were so used to her being able to figure it out, to do it, to keep up, right? And so recognizing she couldn't keep up, but she wanted to keep up.
So look ahead. What do you think we can do to make it easier for Carlito or hopefully other little kids that we may have down the road?
I mean, I think it's really important to stay healthy, exercising, eating right, so staying fit longer so that we, will be healthy older people.
And I think too, making sure our finances are in order.
I probably care a lot more about alternative medicine than I ever did before. And alternative medicine these days is old-fashioned medicine, so it's what do you eat, as you said, and how you exercise, and who you surround yourself with. I think is really important. Who your partner is, I think, can be really important. Part of the reason why I'm excited about Carlito's passion for cars and trucks is I think having passions can also keep you in the game. You're trying to be a part of creating and building and trying and experimenting, and for better or for worse.
I like that.
Yeah. And maybe one day there will be rose gardens, physical rose gardens, right? I mean, maybe when you talk about communities that have great Jamaican food and have spiritual, mental, and other, can you imagine rose gardens all over the world where people will be like, I want to retire in the rose garden in Thailand. I want to be in the rose garden in Jamaica. I want to be
in Portugal.
In Angola.
Yeah. Couldn't you imagine all these cool things? Cosmo, we got a new idea.
Are the co-founder.
That could be fun.
I mean, the other thing is, as the U.S. is getting older, frankly, as the world populations are getting older, we're dealing with this not only U.S. but around the world. So if there's ways that you are dealing with loved ones who are growing older and maintaining their dignity, but also helping them to live quality of life. We hope that we came up with some ideas and thoughts that might be helpful. And we'd love to hear more how you're doing it. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We're the Watsons,
stronger together.
I keep it bouncy, girls, no, they don't doubt me. Yeah, they